The home price numbers for November have just recently been released here in Frisco and Prosper, Texas. And I know there's many people out there hoping that the decline in home prices that we have been seeing is going to continue. And if you're one of them, today's video might not be the best news for you. So we're going to dive into that. I'm going to show you the latest on home prices in Frisco and Prosper and give you an early indication of where they might be heading, as well as update you with regards to the conforming loan limits. The loan limits for 2023 have just been announced, and there's a substantial increase in what that conforming loan limit is. So we're going to dive into that right here, right now. Hi, this is Andrew with the Andrew Smith team here in Frisco, Texas. And as I mentioned right here at the beginning, many potential buyers that I have spoken to, they've been sitting on the fence, kind of sitting on the sidelines, and it is completely understandable. I mean, after all, home prices went on an unprecedented run up over the last couple of years. And then earlier this year, with mortgage rates taking the substantial jump that they did, it just simply made homes unaffordable. And as a result, many potential buyers have been sitting out of the market, some by choice and others by the fact that it's just not affordable anymore. So my goal in each and every week is to keep you updated on the latest information here in Frisco and Prosper, Texas, so that you can make the decision that is best for you. Everyone's situation is different, and hopefully this information will enable you to make that decision that is best for you. So let's dive into it right here. I'm going to share my screen quickly, and I'm going to show you exactly what is going on with the latest home price information here in Frisco and Prosper. All right, so here we go. What we're looking at right here is the median sales price. The Frisco is represented by the blue line and Prosper is the red line on this graph. And if you've seen any of the videos I've done over the past few weeks, you'll know that I've been talking about the fact that home prices here in Frisco and Prosper have actually kind of been treading water for the last couple of months, not really doing a whole lot at all, bouncing up a little bit, dropping back down a little bit. Now, as you can see here, Frisco reached a peak in April. And since April, home prices have been trending down. In Prosper, the peak wasn't reached until May. And since May, they dropped down, they went back up a little bit, then they dropped down. And here's that point over the last couple of months that I was referring to. This is August. And since August, prices generally had been kind of treading water. But this month, they actually went up. I can't say I'm overly surprised by this, as we were seeing a little bit more activity, and we were seeing some early signs that we were seeing balance, some stability return to our local marketplace. I'm not going to say by any means that this is a trend and that you should expect that prices are going to continue moving up from here. I don't really see that happening at all, especially now, this time of year, and even as we head into 2023. But you can see the median sales price in Prosper, was $790 in October. It went up to $822 in November. And again, here in Frisco, it went from $630 in October up to $650 in November. Now, some of this is from people that had jumped into the market when we started to see a fall in interest rates. You started to see some balance come back. So mortgage rates have made a decline. They dropped quite a bit a couple of weeks ago, and they've been holding steady, actually declined a little bit more last week. As of this recording, the 30-year fixed is running right around 6.49%. The mortgage lenders I'm speaking to are projecting that that is going to continue to come down, ease off a little bit in the months ahead, based upon where we are currently at with the inflation numbers. So that will remain to be seen. Now, the other thing is here, I'm going to show you, is where sales prices are in relation to list price. And even though that we've seen quite a bit of price reductions take place, I'm going to show you that also as well in just a minute, homes are still selling relatively close to where the list price is. Somewhere between 95 and 96% of list price, last list price, is where homes are selling for. You go all the way back here, into March, homes were selling for almost 110% of the list price. So, 10% over on average within the market. And then obviously it's been plummeting down since then. Now, one of the things as we look at Prosper and Frisco specific, here's Frisco, and this is taken directly from my weekly market report. I'm going to put a link to this in the description below. You can go ahead and take a look, and you can search any city or zip code you're interested in directly from this report. But on the right-hand side here, it just gives you some real-time market update or market profile. You can kind of see that the list price after falling, this is the average median list price, it kind of has bounced back up a little bit. And you can see that inventory continues to decline. That's all, playing into supply and demand. Not surprised, inventory is going to continue to decline now through the end of the year. But the reason I mentioned I've been seeing or expecting to see some balance come back into the market, this graph right here is showing price decreases. Okay, so as you can see, if you remember, I said our market here peaked right around in April, and this is April right here. Back then, only 6% of all homes were receiving a price reduction before going under contract. Well, as the market changed rapidly and quickly, sellers didn't know what to do. It's like all of a sudden the buyer activity dropped off completely. Sellers have their homes listed, and in order to get those homes under contract, they had to reduce the price. There was no choice. And that's what this line here, you can see the rapid increase in the amount of price reductions that we were seeing. But right up here, as we got into November, that line has started to flatten out, which is telling me that we're starting to see a little bit more balance. It's still a high number, don't get me wrong, but it's not continuing to increase. It's edging, it's making its turn, which is telling us that the price that homes are coming onto the market is starting to get closer to where buyers expect them to be. Also, a lot of the new home builders, one of the reasons this has gone up, the new home builders have been working aggressively to get ahead of the curve. And in doing that, they've been slashing pricing quite a bit. I know of communities where the price of homes that are going to be ready to move into within the next 90 days have been cut anywhere from $40, $50, $60, $70, $80, even $90,000 per home. If you'd like information on any of those communities or any of that is of interest to you, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'd be more than happy to share that information with you. All right, so as we jump over to Prosper really quick, very, very similar. We're still seeing the median list price kind of holding steady. It's bounced up and down a little bit, but we're not on a rapid decline. Just like in Frisco, we're still seeing inventory continue to fall. And with regards to the prices decreasing, again, here we are back near the peak in the April-May time, and you can see this rapid run up in price decreases that were taking place, and then we've turned the corner. Right, so we've turned the corner and it's starting to flatten out. So again, both for Frisco and Prosper, this is indicating that we're starting to see and find a little bit more balance in the market. I do think even though prices for November went up, the median sales price, I do expect that we will continue to see that trend down just a little bit more. If you're one of the people, sitting on the fence thinking that from where we are right now, prices are going to tumble, another 15, 20, 25% or more, which are some of the numbers I've heard. They may not. Crystal ball's not working too great, but I can tell you there is nothing in the data or the activity that we are seeing right now. None of the leading indicators are pointing us in that direction. It kind of shows that we may be closer to a bottom than we thought we may have been just a couple of months ago here in Frisco and Prosper. All right, so in closing today, I want to jump onto those loan limits because as I mentioned, they have changed. And here's where they are currently. I'll move myself out of the way. This is the baseline loan amount for conventional conforming loans, right? So a conventional conforming loan is a loan that fits the criteria so that you're, whether you obtain a mortgage through a local mortgage company, Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, anyone along those lines, those mortgages are backed by Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, as long as they are conventional conforming, right? So they are conforming loans. And in order to be a conforming loan, there's a set criteria. And one of that criteria is the loan limit. So for 2023, that loan limit has been raised to 726,200. And that's a big deal. So you start thinking about that. That's the loan amount, not the purchase price. So if you're going to be putting 10%, 15%, 20% down, that's on top of this. So for instance, you're buying a home at 850,000, say, and you put enough money down so that the loan on that property does not exceed 726,200. It is a conventional conforming loan. So what exactly does that mean? So with a conventional conforming loan, as opposed to a jumbo loan, it doesn't necessarily mean that the mortgage rate is going to be lower, the interest rate on that loan. However, it makes a difference with regards to qualifying. When it is a conforming loan, it's very set. The criteria on what is required in order for that loan to be sold and or backed by Fannie or Freddie is set. Right? If it's outside of that, it's considered a non-conforming loan. And the difference there is that there isn't the government-backed secondary market for those loans. They're usually higher closing costs, and their criteria in order to qualify for the loan in the first place is different. You're going to usually have to have more in reserves. They may require higher credit scores, things along those lines. So anytime that you are unable to get more properties in the conventional conforming loan limit, it just makes it a little bit easier for the lenders and for the qualification requirements that you as a borrower have. So hopefully this helps. If you haven't done so, subscribe to this channel and go ahead and hit that bell notification to be notified anytime I put a new video out. That way you'll always know the latest information as I release it with regard to the Frisco and Prosper real estate markets. And as always, if you have any questions whatsoever, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can always send an email to contact@theandrewsmithteam.com or give me a call at 469-296-5230.